Distinguished senators, please take your seats. Distinguished senators, please take your seats. Senator Odia, go back to your seat. Distinguished Senator Odia, please go back to your seat. Go to your side. You my leader. Chairman. Please, distinguished senators, please take your seats. Distinguished senators, please take your seats. Senator Clifford Odia, please go back to your seat.
You know, I didn't know about that thing you said. People didn't know.
Senator, take your seat. Senator Dino, please take your seat. Senator Dino, please take your seat.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right.
Distinguished for these announcements. Southern Senators Forum, notice of meeting. Your Excellency, may I crave the indulgence of Your Excellency to make the announcement of Southern Senators Forum meeting today, 5th of July 2017, immediately after the plenary session. Venue, hearing room 1, National Assembly Complex. Attendance is mandatory. Please accept the assurances of my esteem, Senator Hope Uzodimma. Second. I wish to acknowledge the presence of staff and students of Lisdan Academy, Maraba, Nasarawa State, who are in the gallery to observe our Senate proceedings. I wish them a fruitful observation of the Senate proceedings. Please sit down. Petitions, Senator Land.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Joshua Libani. I represent from the South. I have a petition. I have a petition to present to this honorable Senate today by one Matic Logistics, which has to do with unlawful termination of their activities as chief bearers at the Bonga Offshore Terminal and Chevron Jetty in Wari. No judicial remedy is being sought. And
come and lay the petition.
Thank you.
Petition.
Petitions refer to ethics and privileges brought back in 2 weeks. Yes, Senator Musumonu.
My name is Senator Musumonu. I want to lay this petition for unlawful termination of appointment and forceful resignation of appointment under by the management of National Horticultural Research Institute in Maiduguri. These people have been on acknowledgments since 2003 and they've never sought for any judicial review at all. So I wish to lay the petition for Senate to consider.
Come on, lady. Petition. Any other petitions? Okay, just wait. Petition refers to ethics and privileges. Report back in 2 weeks. Senator Sekibo.
Mr. President, I'm Senator George Thompson Sekibo, COA, Rivers Insecurity District. I have a petition from Mrs. Patient Bifata Jonathan, the former First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. President, the petition has to do with incessant harassment by security agencies. It is not an issue of that is in the court. This one is a regular harassment on virtually every month or 2 months. Either a house is ransacked or people are arrested, those driving and even at the airport. The harassment is becoming unduly. And so she's coming to the Senate to intervene and really found out exactly what is up to. There is no legal, no, there's no legal.
No, command the petition.
Thank you very much.
Matter referred to ethics and privileges. Report back in 2 weeks. Senator Dandiba.
Mr. President, most distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Andy representing Anambra South Territory. Mr. President, I have 2 petitions from 2 of my constituents. One is for wrongful termination, and the other one is for the info by the Nigerian police. May I move forward to make this report?
Morning.
No, sir, I can't see.
Petitions refer to ethics and privileges. Report back in 2 weeks. Senator Maiduguri.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Ovie Omo Adegi, Delta Central.
Just a second. Distinguished colleagues, there's too much noise in the chambers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Ovie Omo Adegi, Delta Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I come under Order 42 and Order 52. With your permission, I'd like to read Order 42. The matter for discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before the commencement of the day sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. I'm sorry. Notice shall not be dispensed with in the case of a motion or in respect of any other proceedings for which notice required except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present. Mr. President, recall I approached you about this motion. I chose to come under Order 42 because any moment from now, Mr. President, the Committee on Marine Transport and eventually this Senate will be considering the budget of MPA for 2017. The moment that budget is approved without this motion taken, the rest of this motion will have been destroyed. That is the essence of why the motion should be taken right now, because it is urgent. Mr. President, if I may proceed, this motion is calling for the Senate's intervention to urgently stop the ongoing monumental financial recklessness and economic waste by the Nigerian Port Authority under its joint ventures with Lagos Channel Management Limited, the Univ Channel Management Company Limited, and the Calabar Channel Management Company Limited.
Distinguished colleagues, Senator Gigi did approach me on this very important issue that borders on financial recklessness and bordering on corruption that I believe needs urgent approach. So according to our rule book, I seek the consent of colleagues for us to take this under for Channel 15. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate, Mr. President, notes that the Lagos Channel Management Limited is a joint venture enterprise formed in August 2005 between the Nigerian Port Authority (NPA) and Dipasa Marine International for the management and routine maintenance dredging of Lagos Navigation Channel, with NPA and TCMC holding 60% and 40% equity shareholding respectively of the LCM. The Bonny Channel Management, Mr. President, is a JV company also formed in August 2005 between the NPA and the Channel Management Company, TCMC, for the management and routine maintenance dredging of the Bonny River and Bonny Navigational Channel. Also with NPA and TCMC holding 60% and 40% equity shareholding respectively of BCC. Mr. President, the Calabar Channel Management Company, CCMC Limited, is also a JV arrangement between Niger Global Engineering and Technical Company Limited and the NPA for the routine management and capital dredging of the Calabar Channel, with NPA holding 60% equity share participation, while Global Engineering and Technical Company Limited holds 40% equity shareholding in the CCMC. Mr. President, worried that although these JVs are supposed public-private partnerships, PPP, conceived to reduce the financial burdens on the federal government, the NPA has expended over $1 billion and $2 billion respectively on the Lagos Channel Management and the Bonny Channel Management from 2005 till date, while significant dredging is yet to commence on the Calabar Channel, notwithstanding, Mr. President, that it's an economic gateway to the North Central and the Northeast geopolitical zones of this country. Mr. President, the Senate observed that the NPA has failed, refused and or neglected to ensure the JV's compliance with the marine environment, that is Sea Dumping Regulations 2012, made pursuant to the Merchant Shipping Act of 2007, the Convention on the Prevention of Marine Pollution by dumping of waste and other matters, otherwise called the London Dumping Convention, and the 1996 Protocol to the London Dumping Convention, as there are no dump sites for the management of hazardous dredge waste removed from the Lagos, Bonny and Calabar navigation channels, thereby leading to sustained severe pollution of our marine ecosystem. Mr. President, concerned that in spite of the so far unjustified huge financial commitment of the NPA to these PPP joint ventures, empirical facts, evidence and data, including but not limited, Mr. President, to current Admiralty charts from Lloyd's of London, clearly confirm that the debt profile of the channels, particularly the Lagos and Bonny channels, remained significantly the same at 13 meters between 2005 and 2016. Notwithstanding the purported claims of daily maintenance dredging of the channels by the JVs, Mr. President, at 2005, when these contracts were signed for the management of the channels, the depth of these channels was 13 meters, 2005. This is 2016. The depth remained the same, Mr. President. And there has been no explanation as to anything to do with siltation. Mr. President, disturbed
that in continuation of NPA's manifestly questionable and reckless financial commitments, the Lagos Channel Management and the Body Channel Management through the NPA have respectively requested for the sums of 23 billion naira and 20 billion naira in the NPA's 2017 budget. Mr. President, concerned that the NPA and the JVs are on a course. Mr. President, concerned that the NPA and the JVs are on a course of absolute financial impunity and recklessness to wreck the nation's treasury, there is need to tame them now in our national interest. Mr. President, the Senate therefore resolved, to mandate the Senate Committee on Marine Transport to investigate the dredging activities, the books, and the records of 1, the Nigerian Ports Authority NPA, 2, the Lagos Channel Management Limited, 3, the Boni Channel Management Limited, and 4, the Calabar Channel Management Limited. Mr. President, I so move. Thank you.
Yes, Senator Guma.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Abdullah Gumel. I come from Jigawa, northwest of Jigawa State. I write to second the motion heavily moved by Senator Omwagigi. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, any other contributors? I think this is a very straightforward matter, but I think it's the importance of interest on the issues we did promise that we will begin to look into areas that we believe are areas of great massive corruption that are going on in different agencies. These figures are staggering and bordering of $1 billion to $2 billion over 10 years, and still nothing much has happened. And I'm sure up to now no anti-corruption agency has even bothered to question any of these people on these kind of issues. And these are the things we are going to be bringing at this chamber to expose and fight for the interests of our people. So I'll go straight to the prayer, which is to mandate the Senate Committee on Marine to investigate the dredging activities books of records of NPA, Lagos Channel Management, Boni Channel Management, and Calabar Channel. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. There is any other additional prayer? If not, the Committee on Marine Transport should ensure that this work is done quickly, diligently, and get the report back to us as soon as possible. And because we don't want it to delay your budget, that's why we've taken it quickly. But they said, I agree with you that we cannot continue to put money for an item that is clearly just an avenue for money just being wasted and money being stolen. So there's clearly that we must put an end to this kind of preference. So ensure that this report is back within a week. Thank you. Brother Senator Gojo.
Mr. President, I want to come on order 43. You agree, I will read.
Go ahead.
In the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward, nor any debate arise from the explanation. The terms of the proposed settlement shall be submitted in detail to the President of the Senate when his leave to make it is sought. Mr. President, I want to come under this order to make a personal explanation, if I'm allowed.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, when we were on this short recess, and even before that, there has been very serious damaging allegations against this Senate, in fact the National Assembly, by the Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Excellency Babatunde Fashola. He has on many occasions in the recent past come out to challenge, to mislead Nigerian public, to black paint the National Assembly on the 2017 budget. So initially I wanted to come under motion, but because yesterday I think the House of Reps has already taken out the matter, and since we're on the same page with the House, I feel I should not come under the motion. But I would like to see this opportunity to advise the minister that he should remember that he is now a minister and he should behave like a minister. He's not a governor, and this National Assembly is not Lagos State House of Assembly. This is an assembly composed of very, very patriotic Nigerians, very experienced Nigerians. Many have done his job. Many were governors before him. Many were.
Senator, you know, this will pay attention to this matter.
Fashola should know that. Fashola should know that he's dealing with the National Assembly of the Republic of Nigeria. It's not Lagos State House of Assembly. If the job is too much for him because the ministry is too big, the ministry is comprising 3 ministries: works, housing, and power. Probably the job is too much for him. He cannot. If he cannot adjust, then he should do the honorable thing. He should do the needful. But no amount of blackmail by him, no amount of propaganda by him or by surrogates will stop this National Assembly from deciding its duties in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, we have sworn to uphold and protect this Constitution, and this we will do to the end of the life of this Assembly. So, for now, I will cease fire, we'll watch and see how the House will handle him. If it's well handled there, then we'll leave him with them. If they are not satisfied, they handle him, they pass him to us, then we'll take it over. Thank you very much.
Well, in line with our rules, there can be no further debate. I think Senator Ali Sabi, our spokesman, announced the Chairman of Appropriation has spoken on this matter, and I'm happy that the House of Rep are also taking up this issue. I think it's a matter that we must be responsible, especially those that are in position of cabinet, to look at issues from the national point of view and the interests of all Nigerians. I will definitely wait to the outcome of his appearance before the House of Representatives before further contribution in this matter. We'll take your explanation, Chairman of Appropriations. Yes, Senator Rocha.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Senator Emmanuel Boacha. I represent Taraba South. Mr. President, I rise on the strength of Order 52, which reads, if I am permitted...
Go ahead.
That notice shall not be dispensed with in the case of a motion or in respect of any other proceeding for which notice is required, except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present. And this is followed, Mr. President, by Order 42 on matters of urgent public importance, which is, the matter for discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day's sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and...
Distinguished colleagues, Senator Boacha had already met me and had consented for him to bring up this matter, but as you know, I request the leave of our colleagues And though again our rules are said that the issue of how many we can take, but because of the budget timing on the issue of the NPA matter, I also allow that. So I seek your leave to allow us to take on that 42 and 52. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Consent of budget.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, the matter in question is a motion in respect of the late Governor Suntei, the former governor of Taraba State. Governor Suntei was a very visible personality in Nigeria's political landscape between 2000. Governor Suntei, a very visible individual in Nigeria's political landscape between 2007 and 2012, when he was involved in an unfortunate air crash between Yola and Jalingo in 25th of October, to be precise, 2012. Distinguished colleagues, the late Governor Suntei was born on the 30th June 1962 in Suntei village. He died exactly 2 days.
Just a second. Distinguished colleagues, there's too much noise. Please, can you all please take your seats? Go ahead.
The late Governor Suntei died on the 28th of June last month, 2 days exactly before his 56th birthday. He attended his primary education in Bali from 1969 2000 to 1970, and LCC Primary School Jimeta in 1970 to 1975. After his primary education, he attended Federal Government College, Kano from 1975 to 1980. And he did his preliminary course in Zaria, where he later was admitted to study pharmacy at the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, where he graduated in 1984. He did his internship at the Yola Specialist Hospital, his NYC at the State Hospital Ijaye, Abeokuta, Ogun State from 1985 to 1986. He joined the then Gongola State Civil Service, where he worked at the General Hospital Ganye and the Inspectorate Division of the State Ministry of Health. He joined partisan politics and was elected chairman of Bali local government in present-day Taraba from 1991 to 1993. He was Director General at Taraba State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources between 1994 to 1996, and at the same time was a very active member of the late Yaradua's political machine, the PDM. He was State Party Chairman of All People's Party, the APP, in Taraba State in 1999. And in 2000, he became Chairman, Taraba State Investment and Properties Limited. He was appointed Commissioner, Ministry of Education in the year 2000 to 2003, and Commissioner of Health 2003 to 2005. He was Secretary to Government, Taraba State Government, between 2005 and 2007. He was elected Governor of Taraba State in 2007 till 2012, when he had the unfortunate crash. And I need to inform distinguished colleagues that this motion is sponsored by my humble self and the Deputy Leader of the Senate, who was Mr. Suntei's aviation consultant, and the other senators from Taraba State, and of course, very good friends of Governor Suntei while he was alive, who are seated in the chambers today. He passed on to glory on the 28th of June, 2017, in the medical facility in Orlando, Florida, United States of America. Prayers. I accordingly urge the Senate to observe 1 minute silence in honor of the deceased former governor of Taraba State. And that the Senate do send a delegation to attend the burial of Governor Sunte, which comes up on the 29th of this month, July 2017. I so move, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Seconding this, Senator Yusuf.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, Taraba Central. It's with deep sense of feelings and deep heart that we commiserate today the death of our former governor, Dambaba Damplani Suntai, who is a member of my constituency of Taraba Central. I second this motion with deep heart, and also to say a few things about Dambaba Damplani Suntai. He is actually the first professional to be the governor of Taraba State, and he has been able to do his 4 years term, and during the second year he did 2 years and had an accident, and since then until June 20th when he died. He was amiable to us. He did well within the circumstances, and I ask God Almighty to give his family and the people of Taraba the fortitude to bear the loss. I so move. Thank you very much.
Distinguished colleagues, this is a straightforward motion. The two will go straight to prayers. Prayer 1. Observe a 1 minute silence in honor of the deceased. Those in favor of prayer will say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Prayer 2. Send delegation of the Senate to attend the burial which comes up on the 29th of July 2017. Those in favor of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Could we also rise now and observe 1 minute silence in honor of the deceased? May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Distinguished colleagues, on behalf of the Senate, we convey our condolence to the family, the associates, for the passing away of a great Nigerian who gave his life to service, and who, of course, during the period of service had the unfortunate accident that led to the last few years, which was very painful for the family and difficult. We all appreciate his service to his state and his people, and that, as we said, we pray that his soul rest in perfect peace and give his family the fortitude to bear the loss. We are announcing the delegation to attend the funeral later in the day. Leader of the Senate.
Just telling you, so if you do that,
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of Senator Isa Nisau on the Private Investigators Bill 2017. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Private Investigators Bill 2017, SB 314, first reading.
Private Investigations Bill 2017, SB 314, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of Senator Mansurat Sumonu on the College of Information and Technology Oyo State Establishment Bill 2017. Mr. President, we wish to invite the Clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, College of Information and Technology, Oyo, Establishment, etc. Bill 2017, SB 492, first reading.
College of Information and Technology, Oyo, Establishment, etc. Bill 2017, SB 492, first reading taken. Leader of Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of Senator Mohammed Hassan on the Digital Rights Bill 2017. Mr. President, may we invite the Clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Digital Rights Bill 2017, SB 516, first reading.
Digital Rights Bill 2017, SB 516, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the fourth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of Senator Maiduguri on the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria Act Cap F18 LFN 2004 Amendment Bill 2017. Mr. President, we wish to invite the Clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Federal Road Corporation of Nigeria Act Cap F18 LFN 2004 Amendment Bill 2017 SB 517, first reading.
Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria Act Cap F18 LFN 2004 Amendment Bill 2017 SB 517, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the fifth business of the day is the presentation of a House bill standing in my name on the Nigeria Academy of Science Establishment, etc. Bill 2017. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Nigeria Academy of Science Establishment, etc. Bill 2017, HB 917, first reading.
Nigeria Academy of Science Establishment, etc. Bill 2017, HB 917, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the sixth business of the day is the presentation of the reports of the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition in respect of a petition from Lekan Elabi, ex-Choir, on behalf of Mr. Aino Shaka Babalola against Federal Housing Authority for alleged unlawful termination of his appointment by the authority. B, petition from Jude Ayahu on behalf of Transglobal Insurance Brokers Limited against Nigerian Identity Management Commission for refusal to pay outstanding premium. And C, petition from Mr. Abu Timothy Achille on behalf of his late father S.O. Abu against the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NPC for non-payment of his benefits, entitlements, pension and gratuity. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Samuel Ayahu, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the Senate to receive the reports.
Senator Samuel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Samuel. I represent Imo East in Imo State. With the leave of Mr. President and the Senate, I move that the Senate do receive the report of the Committee on Ethics and Privileges and Public Petitions in respect of A, petition from Lekan Alabi Esquire on behalf of Mr. Aino Isaka Babalola against Federal Housing Authority for alleged unlawful termination of his appointment by the authority. B, petition from Jude Anyanwu on behalf of Transglobal Insurance Brokers Limited against Nigerian Identity Management Commission for refusal to pay outstanding premium. C, petition from Mr. Abu Timothy Achille on behalf of his late father S.O. Abu against Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation for non-payment of his benefits, entitlements, pension, and gratuity. I so move, Mr. President.
Senator Senator Benjamin Wajumogu.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to, my name is Senator Benjamin Wajumogu. I represent Imo North. I rise to support the motion that raised by Senator Sam Anyang to
distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion to also receive the reports of the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions in respect of petitions are read by the Senator Sam Anyang, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Sam Anyang, present your reports. Let's receive your report. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is a motion standing in my name on the executive communication from Mr. President C&C on the 2016 to 2018 external borrowing rolling plan. Distinguished senators will recall that the request from Mr. President C&C was read on Tuesday, 6 June 2017. Mr. President, with your permission, I wish to move that the request be referred to the relevant committee for further legislative action. I so move.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the Senate do consider the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, for the separation of state project from items in the 2016 to 2018 external borrowing rolling plan for referral to committee. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate do consider the request of Mr. President C&C for the separation of state projects from items in the 2016-2018 external borrowing rolling plan. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. Yes, I have it. This is referred to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debt and report back in 2 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is a motion standing in the name of Senator Ross Oko on the communal clash between Wanikade and Wanihen communities of North Ukele, Yala, Iga, Cross River North. Mr. President, you will recall that yesterday, Tuesday, 4th July 2017, the Senate, via Order 42, Sub 2 of our standing order, approved that this motion be moved on the next legislative day, which is today. Accordingly, you may wish to invite Senator Rosoko to move the motion, Mr. President.
Senator Rosoko.
Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me the floor. My name is Rosoko, Cross River North. Communal clash between Wanikade and Wanihem communities of North Ukele, Yala local government area, Cross River North. Senate notes that the Wanikade and Wanihem communities of Ukele North, comprising of over 300 villages in Yala local government area of Cross River North, have lived together as one. Senate further notes that in the past few years, there have however been disputes between them over land ownership on its boundaries. The Senate also notes that at about 2012, the court had maintained that the two communities stay out of the land until a proper resolution was reached. Senate is alarmed that on the 26th of June 2017, one of the communities entered the land to farm in breach of the court order. Senate is further alarmed that a dispute resulting in a war erupted with the other community. Senate is indeed very alarmed that what ensued resulted in a near wipeout of several villages, including Lem Ukele, Oyeche, Mankiliti, Ozebe, Oyoba, Ehetezi, Elahem, Wanazeta, Ndenyima, Onyegbe, among others, where over 1,000 houses and institutions like hospitals and schools were razed to the ground, while both communities suffered over 100 deaths with several wounded. Senate is very concerned that about 14,000 IDPs are currently in several locations in Uju local government, including Adum, Epwa, Ameka, Okuku, Igbagi, Ohuhu, Oriobotu, Owoku, and Ikori, all in Uju local government area, Benue State, and also within some peaceful parts of Ukele North in Cross River, in Yala local government area. Senate knows that a dispatch of both the military and police is currently stationed there to maintain peace. Senate is concerned that even if peace is restored, because they have lost their homes, the IDPs cannot go back in the near future. Senate is further concerned that if the sanitary conditions in the IDP centers, as well as food and other essential commodities, are not provided soon, there will be outbreaks of diseases and starvation leading to a humanitarian crisis. Senate accordingly resolves: 1. Direct the National Emergency Management Agency to make urgent arrangements to provide food, medicines, blankets, mattresses, and other essentials to the IDPs both in Benue State and other parts of Yala local government in Cross River State. 2. Commend the Benue State government, Uju local government area in Benue State, and Cross River State government for sending relief materials to the centers in Benue, though inadequate. 3. Requires the Nigerian Army to maintain military presence until the security situation is contained and lasting peace is restored. 4. Urge the Cross River State government to quickly resolve the conflict on a sustainable basis through appropriate boundary delineation. 5. Refer the matter to the relevant committee to report back within 2 weeks. I so move, Mr. President.
Who seconding this motion? Yes, interrogation, Bassi.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Besham Bassi, representing Cross River South Senatorial District. Mr. President, in supporting and seconding this motion, I wish to add that the federal government should quickly intervene in providing these relief materials to these refugees who are displaced at the moment. The quick intervention will save lives and will save the situation to a large extent. I so second.
Since this is a straightforward matter, I think we can just go straight to prayers. Prayer 1, direct the National Emergency Management Agency to make urgent arrangements to provide food, medicine, blankets, mattresses, and other essentials to the IDPs, both in Benue and other parts of Yala local government and Cross River. Those in favor of prayer 1 say aye. Those against say nay. As I have prayer 2, commend the Benue State Government, Uju local government and Cross River State Government for sending relief materials to the centers in Benue, though inadequate. Those in favor of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. As I have it. Prayer 3, requests the Nigerian Army to maintain military presence until the security situation is contained and lasting peace restored. Those in favor of prayer 3 say aye. Those against say nay. As I will. Prayer 4, urge the Cross River State Government to quickly resolve the conflict on a sustainable basis through appropriate boundary delineation. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. As I will. And prayer 5, refer the matter to relevant committees. Report back in 2 weeks. That is, there will be Committee on State and Local Government. Those in favor of prayer 5 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Additional prayer. If not, I thank you. And the Committee on State and Local Government should report back to us within 2 weeks to ensure that we're updated on the situation. And we hope that the security agencies will maintain peace in this area during this period. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is a motion standing in the name of Senator Babaka Kabashir Garbai and 45 others on the urgent need to avoid the imminent disruption of full academic activities and closure of the University of Maiduguri due to rising insecurity occasioned by the spread of suicide bomb attacks. Mr. President, may wish to invite Senator Babaka Kabashir Garbai to move the motion.
Senator Bashir Bakakabai.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Babakaka Bashir Garbai. I represent Borno Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, the topic of this motion, or the title of this motion, is the urgent need to avoid the imminent disruption of full academic activities and closure of the University of Maiduguri due to rising insecurity occasioned by the spate of suicide bombs attacks. The motion is co-sponsored by, the list is stated. The Senate notes the disturbing trend of rising insecurity at the University of Maiduguri, one of the foremost institutions of learning in the country. The Senate is disturbed that due to the location of this great institution in Maiduguri, which is the epicenter of the protracted Boko Haram insurgency, the school is gradually but persistently becoming a soft target and signature battle point in the fight against insurgency. The Senate notes that this foremost institution, which can safely be described as the last institution standing following the advent.
Mr. President, my name is Baraj Jibrin. I represent Kano North. I'm coming under Order 56, 9 and 10. 9. When a senator is speaking, no senator may converse aloud or make any noise or disturbance to interrupt him. 10. During a sitting, all senators shall be silent or shall confer only in undertones. Mr. President, there's been a lot of noise in this chamber. Those disallowing to have an environment where we can listen to those who are speaking. So I think it's better you call senators to order so that we can remain silent.
Thank you, Senator Jibin. Your point you have raised, point of order is sustained. Now, distinguished colleagues, those who are not ready to either apply any of these of our rules should please go in there to the coffee room so that I will not be forced to ask some people to have to leave the chamber. Seriously, we cannot at this level. There must be silence so that we can listen to senators contribute. Senator Babakaka, you can continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate notes the disturbing trend of rising insecurity at the University of Maiduguri, one of the foremost institutions of learning in the country. The Senate is disturbed that due to the location of this great institution in Maiduguri, which is the epicenter of the protracted Boko Haram insurgency, the school is gradually but persistently becoming a soft target and signature battle point in the fight against insurgency. The Senate notes that this foremost institution, which can safely be described as the last institution standing following the advent of Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast, is on the verge of caving in to the relentless assault on it by the insurgents. The Senate observes that in recent times, the Boko Haram insurgents have adopted the tactics of unbridled suicide bombings targeted at the institution with a view to bringing the university down to its knees. This is a situation that must never be allowed to happen in our generation. The Senate acknowledges that this unfortunate new wave of violence, which is drawing public outcry and condemnations from home and abroad, has heightened fears that unless something urgent is done, the once most peaceful and globally competitive center for multicultural research and learning may be converted into another theater of war.
Senator Marafa. Senator Marafa, if you do not intend to participate, you can allow to go to coffee room so that we can have a peaceful and people can contribute. No, I don't. Please sit down. All right, go on, Mr.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Senate recalls that this institution used to be the jewel of and the main signpost of academic excellence in Nigeria, boasting of and attracting some of the best and finest professors from across the globe. Sadly, we have lost one of the best hands still available in the university today to the current insecurity on the campus, late Professor Aliu Usman Mani, who was killed together with 2 students when the institution was attacked by 2 suicide bombers on Monday, the 16th of January 2017. Sadly notes, the Senate sadly notes that over 70 professors, several students and staff have left the university during the height of the ongoing insecurity in the campus to other universities within and outside the country due to fear. The Senate observes that between January 16 and January 25th, a period spanning 6 months, the university community was hit with 6 suicide bomb blasts, which resulted in the death of 19 students and staff of the school. The Senate, I would like to draw the attention of my colleagues that 25th of June 2017 was Salah Day, when 2 bomb explosives were detonated within the university premises, killing both academic staff and also security men within the university community. The Senate observes further that the current porous state of the security in the institution, coupled with the vast expanse of land it sits on and the external conditions of security across the state, has worsened the situation and made these attacks more effective. The Senate observes that the peculiarity of the University of Maiduguri and the difficult environment it is operating makes it imperative for the federal government to take urgent and extraordinary steps to protect and safeguard the institution from further violation of the peace and tranquility of the institution. The Senate notes that the need for government to then take extra measures to ensure effective fencing of the perimeters of the complex, deploy special unit security at the campus, and mobilize modern security equipment for total surveillance and intrusion detectors to boost the security of the institution. The Senate further notes that currently only 3.65 kilometers of the university boundary has been fenced, leaving a balance of about 23.7 kilometers. Accordingly, the Senate resolves to urge the federal government to urgently intervene and immediately put in place extraordinary measures to ensure the full restoration of the peace and tranquility of the University of Maiduguri, including the immediate perimeter fencing of the school and the deployment of critical security systems to ensure full surveillance and detection of security breaches. Call on the security agencies to submit to the Senate a comprehensive plan of action to contain, maintain, and assure the constant security of the University of Maiduguri in particular and the host community of the school. And call on the Minister of Education through the TED Fund to make measures to revamp the security infrastructure by immediately embarking on the fencing of the institution, as well as take other measures to reassure the university community of their security and protection. And I so move, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues. Thank you.
Yes, Senator Abukari.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Abubakar Kari, representing Borno North. I rise to support in totality the motion here raised by my distinguished brother, Senator Babakar Bashir Darbai, on the issue of the urgent need to avoid the imminent disruption of full academic activities and closure of the University of Maiduguri due to the rising insecurity occasioned by the spate of suicide bomb attacks. Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, University of Maiduguri is about the only tertiary institution of repute by the federal government. And as such, I think this in Borno State, and as such, this motion is very, very important and is very apt for us to urge the federal government to take immediate steps, because as we all know, that renowned institution, we have seen so many people from all over the country. It's not only specifically for Borno State, but we have seen students that have gone through the students and faculty that have come from far and wide, from all over the country. And we believe that without urgent steps, the disruption is very, very imminent. Distinguished colleagues, it is so sad that still after I would not say the defeat of the Boko Haram, because they're still with us, and they're targeting soft targets, especially institutions of learning. This particular institution has never shut its doors during the height even of the insurgency, let alone when the insurgency has been taken care of to a certain level. I would say a certain level because they are still regrouping on the outskirts. University of Maiduguri is exposed, is on the outskirts of Maiduguri itself, and the borders are very, very porous, and the very need to construct a security barrier or fence around the university is very, very important. Therefore, the motion is very apt and is very clear and very direct and concise. I suggest and appeal to my distinguished colleague to please support this motion in total. I so submit. Thank you very much.
Senator Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Barrow Jibrin. I represent Kano North. Mr. President, I support this motion in its totality, its entirety, Mr. President. It has become very, very important. It has become very, very necessary to secure this very, very important institution. As it is right now, this school, the university is unsecured, opened, and you have this attack by the Boko Haram insurgents almost on continuous basis. And I think the best thing to do, first of all, is to fence the institution and a kind of put certain facilities that will not allow them to continue to attack the institution, and as well as inform the military authorities to also keep an eye, to continue to watch what is happening there, so that to prevent these attacks coming in continuously. I think it's very direct. We need to do this, and then we'll stop these attacks on this very important institution. Thank you, Mr.
Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, my name is Ahmed Lawan. I represent Yobe North. Mr. President, the University of Maiduguri can be better called Northeastern University of Maiduguri. So many Nigerians from across the country get admission, enrolled, and get educated. Mr. President, the University of Maiduguri has the reputation of providing the kind of very peaceful environment, learning and teaching environment for university education in Nigeria for a long time. Today, the peace that university used to enjoy has been destroyed by the intermittent